My name is Georgios Babena, and this is another asteroid video on the asteroid Vesta, the goddess of the hearth and devotion. So what does Vesta mean in your natal chart? If you go online, like every other asteroid, you'll find a lot of shit. I mean literally shit. Yeah, nobody really can explain anything about any asteroid, so here I am once more, Georgios Verbena, to enlighten you what it means to have it in the chart. So Vesta is about the thing that you need to love and you need to be good at. Imagine you have a hidden talent, like the part of fortune, like Venus suggests in the natal chart. This particular goddess was represented by a hearth, and you go around this hearth, you have this campfire, and you're like, oh, the fire, everybody gets warm by the fire. It's the heat, it's the warmth, it's the love, it's the inspiration that you can give, that you must give in order to receive. Of course, it's like the light of the sun, but this is feminine. That means it's about service. It's about love. It's not so much about, oh, here, look what I do, can you see it? It's not grandstanding. It's not in your face. But the house that your Vesta is in, that is the thing that you need to be very good at. You need to be able to identify it in your life and nurture it. Build it. And then it's like a fire that gives you warmth. It gives somebody else warmth. In synastry, for example, if you have Vesta on somebody else's planet, you're feeding that planet. Yeah, it's like a feeding force in the chart. So, let's explain what Vesta means in your chart. Now, if you go with Vesta through the 12th houses, that's what you want to look at. The houses are extremely important, because the house Vesta is placed in will tell you exactly what is it that you need to be an expert on. Yeah, you need to be an expert on that thing, and then you need to help others with that thing. So, for example, I have Vesta in the first house. As you know, the first house is the house of identity. So if you have Vesta in the first house like me, you need to help others achieve their own identity, understand their own identity better, become aware of it. Yeah, Vesta is like awareness, like the fire represents illumination. So that's what you need to give others. That means you love dealing with identity issues, identity disorders, identity problems. Of course, all my work is around identity. So it's very fitting if you're an astrologer or a mental health practitioner or a therapist to have Vesta in the first house, because, let's face it, we live in a mental asylum and everybody could use a little bit of identity restoration or some kind of self-awareness work. The issue of self-awareness is highlighted by Vesta in the first house, and the need to achieve that thing and to build that thing, so it's strong. Yeah. Now, if you have Vesta in the second house, it would be about values and money and possessions. If it's in the third house, Vesta is dedicated towards communication and wanting to learn and to know everything and exchange everything and distribute knowledge, blah, 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 blah. I don't have to go through all the houses. All you need to do, put the keywords together. Vesta is devotion, love, building, fortifying, strengthening, inspiring, illuminating, creating, warming. These keywords. You don't need more than that. And then you need to combine it with the keywords of a house it's placed in. Third house is communication, fourth house is home, fifth house is self-expression, sixth house is work, health, diet, seventh house is relationship. You know all of this basic stuff. If you're looking at an asteroid, you already know the basics. And if you don't, of course, you can always check out Google search. I mean, Google is your friend. Or check out my course. In any case, Vesta is about the thing you need to be good at, you need to achieve it, you need to build it, you need to strengthen it, and when other people can receive help from that expertise that you give them. Because wherever you go, you bring that fire, that Vesta with you. And other people need to be able to feed on it somehow. You need to be able to provide that in order to receive back. What are you receiving with Vesta in the chart? There's a stickiness to Vesta. It's like somebody sticks to you like glue. It's a thing you stick to. And of course, whatever you are obsessed with, whatever you're focused on, whatever you're dedicated to, you will draw that thing magnetically to you. Yeah. I mean, it's very obvious that Vesta has the nature of Venus in the chart. Of course, you will not find this online because everybody is fucking clueless about the asteroids. But if you check the transit that Vesta is in, if you ever observe a Vesta transit, like right now, at the time of this video, Vesta is in Gemini. Around 20 degrees of Gemini, it's in retrograde. So around that, if you have any planets in Gemini, if you have any planets in Sagittarius, 20 degrees, you will notice Vesta influencing that area, making you committed to that thing, making you want to build and strengthen and do more in that area. To do more. To what end? Why does somebody have Vesta in the chart? The question is, why do they need that thing? In childhood, of course, all of this begins. Vesta basically shows you the thing that you needed to develop because you didn't get it. It's like you were starving for that thing. It was missing from you in some way. And if it's missing, the question is, how important is it? And usually it has to be very, very important. Otherwise, Vesta wouldn't be there. So it's something that's missing, but it's very important. It's not like necessary for life, but you feel like it is. You feel like it's essential. You feel like it's primary. The asteroids are funny because people think that, oh, it's just an unimportant thing. But really, if you look at certain asteroids like Chiron, like Pholus, like Lilith, which is not even an asteroid, but she has an asteroid. If you look at these objects and you find them in the chart, and you look at the house meaning, you'll find that they are freaking significant. But they often go unnoticed because they operate in the background. They're not in your face. They're not primary archetypes. Yeah, like the sun, moon, Mars. But I talk about this in all my asteroid videos again and again like a broken record because it needs to be repeated. People just don't get what they actually mean. So let me clarify the archetype of Vesta. If you know that the sun is the lover and the king, Mars is the warrior, Venus is the lover as well, and the moon is a protector and the mother, and the sun is a father. Well, what the hell is Vesta then? Vesta is the priest. Yeah, or priestess, but not high priestess. It's not, oh, I will channel the divine. No, it is not. She ain't channeling shit. She's not psychic placement by any means. At least not. There's no suggestions for that. Of course, there is a suggestion that the fire illuminates. The fire is spirit. So there could be a psychic connection. However, there's nothing that I could find within transits, aspects, online, or anywhere really about that. What I could find, however, is that she has this attribute of an ecclesiastical priest, like somebody who is in a church. You know, you go to the church priest, and the priest tells you, these are the commandments, you must follow the commandments. And then the priest makes sure you follow them, and he tries to help you to achieve them. That's exactly Vesta's function in the chart. She helps you to achieve something by telling you, you need to be committed to that thing, you need to keep going, even if it fails. And that's why the fire has a burning quality. It burns through blockages. So if you have Vesta in an aspect to a planet, Vesta wants to burn through that. So of course that suggests that there's something to be burned, there's something to be let go of, there's a problem there. Like any asteroid, it's a malefic aspect. Oh no, you're telling me that every single asteroid that exists is a malefic? Potentially. Probably. I'd say extremely freaking likely. Because it's still a fragment of a planet. It's not a planet. It's because Vesta needs to burn something. Vesta needs to fix something. Vesta needs to love something. Vesta needs to be like, in your face, like, I need to do this. Well, why the hell do you need to do this? Why is there an obsession? Because it needs to be fixed. Because it's broken. There's something wrong. So Vesta helps you to understand there's a problem with that aspect, its conjunction to, that house, that sign. And the problem is fixed by putting some fire into that area. So Vesta tells you what you need to do, actually. You know? You need to actually become more strict in a priestly sense, but motivated in a fiery sense, like a hierophant. Yeah, I know it is very similar to a hierophant, because if you look towards the meaning of a fire, and you're around the fire, and the fire is warming you, and then you get visions when you look into the fire for too long, right? When you look into the fire for too long, you get visions, and then the fire is burning through your blockages. So it's a devoted servant to God. It's like when you go to a cult, and everyone is like, Hare Krishna. Well, it's what you chant, it's what you worship in your life. So if you have it, let's say, connection to a planet, you will worship that planet, that aspect throughout your whole life. You will have a priestly attitude towards that thing, as if it needs to be elevated on a pedestal. Which can be a shadow, where you're like, oh, it needs to be perfect, where you're never happy enough. And not necessarily, because this isn't Ceres. This is not an enmeshment problem we're talking about. This is more like light, fiery energy. It's not heavy. Vesta is not heavy at all. It's not a platonic object by any means whatsoever. So don't go into that thinking of, oh, if I have Vesta, then I need to be perfectionist. This is nonsense. It has nothing to do with perfectionism. It has everything to do with confidence, to be able to make that thing strong, and you just know it's gonna be strong, it's gonna be good. And when you're asking, but what if I don't care about the thing that my Vesta is conjunction with, whether it's a planet, house, or sign, then you're simply unconscious. I'm sorry to say, but you're simply in need of some shadow work, and you're simply unaware of what that Vesta suggests there, because there could be a blind spot. Maybe there's a hard aspect. Maybe another planet is interfering with that thing that your Vesta is conjunction with. Maybe that thing is weak, and you need to strengthen it. And that's gonna happen. Every time somebody has a Vesta transit, a Vesta conjunction, a Vesta return, or a Vesta opposition, that whole theme of I need to worship this, and I need to get it big, and need to strengthen it, build it, and then I'm good, that theme is gonna be highlighted. So I hope it helps and explain the function of Vesta in the chart. Little summary: it's worship, inspiration, devotion, has the nature of Jupiter and the nature of Venus. It's a beneficiary, one of the very, very few asteroids. It has a beneficiary quality when it's conjunction something. But do not forget that the benefit only happens because there is a problem that needs to be fixed, and you will work your whole life trying to fix it. But it's not like Chiron, it's not perfectionism, it's not repetition compulsion, it's not, I'm a Pluto, I need to control that. None of that shit. It's an extremely light-hearted, very, okay, I guess I'm a little bit neutral, type of asteroid. How do I know this? Well, unlike most people, I do not rely on books. I do not wait for somebody to please be an expert and tell me what the hell something means in my life. While I wait 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, how many more years do you have to wait until somebody tells you what the hell an asteroid means? No, it's because I look into readings, into charts, and that's just what I see. Of course, there's no proof for any of the asteroids. Disclaimer, none of this can be proven unless you do some science, meaning you do some statistics and you gather evidence. And you make notes, like a Virgo, right? If you have a Virgo brain, that's what you do, but I'm not a Virgo, so I don't do that. However, I do pay attention. So check your Vesta. Check when is going to be your Vesta return. When is going to be there a planet on your natal Vesta, or when is Vesta going to be on your natal planet? And see what happens. And see how everything I just told you in this video is 100% confirmed, with not even a single thing being wrong. Because it's not hard. You just observe. You don't need to have a Virgo brain, but it's useful, of course, if you want proof and you wait 10 years, 20 years, 30 years to do your research. Meanwhile, your life is over and you're almost dead in the ground because you waited so long to prove what you already know. So if you like this video and you love my rants about how to do astrology, please leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what asteroids do you want to know next, and I will address them, of course. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.